I shelled out $12,000 to fly my family in for my medical school graduation. They buylaid on me for a cruise and sent a text. "Watching you play doctor sounds like a drag." My aunt added, "We'd rather be somewhere worth celebrating." So I mailed them a copy of my diploma and photos of their empty VIP seats. 3 hours later, my mom left a tearful voicemail, but I'd already done something they didn't see coming. I'm a 28-year-old woman who graduated from medical school last month. It was supposed to be a monumental moment in my life. Years of grueling work, sleepless nights, emotional breakdowns, and a mountain of debt I'd rather not think about, all leading to the day I'd walk across the stage, shake hands, and be hooded as a doctor. My family knew how much this meant to me. I'm the first doctor in our family, the first to even finish college. When I got into med school, they made a big fuss, boasting to everyone at church and posting my acceptance letter all over social media like it was their victory too. So for graduation, I wanted them there to share it. I spent over $12,000 flying in my parents, siblings, and even my aunt and uncle. I covered their flights, booked hotel rooms near campus, and splurged on VIP seats so they'd have the best view. I told myself, this is a once-in-a-lifetime moment. They deserve to be here, and I deserve to have them here. The day before the ceremony, I got a group text from my family. I thought it was them confirming they'd landed. Instead, it was a photo of them on a cruise ship. My heart sank. Then the messages came. "Mom, sorry, sweetie, the cruise was too good to pass up. We'll celebrate later." My brother. "Watching you play doctor sounds like a drag, lol." My aunt chimed in. "We'd rather be somewhere worth celebrating." I stared at my phone, stunned. I couldn't even cry, I just felt empty. These were the same people who called me the family's shining star when it suited their image. But when it came time to actually show up for me, they couldn't be bothered. Graduation day arrived. My 6 VIP seats sat empty. In every photo, they stood out like a painful reminder that the people I cared about most didn't care enough to be there. My classmates had families cheering, crying, holding flowers. I had nothing but silence. I didn't respond in the group chat. I didn't plead or guilt-trip them. Instead, after the ceremony, I took a different approach. A week later, I sent each of them a package, a glossy copy of my diploma and photos of their empty reserved seats. 3 hours after the packages were delivered, I got a voicemail from my mom, sobbing, begging me to call back. She said it wasn't what I thought, that they loved me, that I was overreacting. But what she didn't know was that I'd already done something they didn't expect. When I heard my mom's voicemail, I didn't cry. I didn't feel triumphant either. I just sat on my couch, staring at the ceiling, my diploma still displayed on the dining table. For once, I wasn't the little girl craving their approval. I was the doctor they decided wasn't worth showing up for. What my mom didn't know was that a week before graduation, when I paid for their flights and hotels, I didn't use my personal credit card. I booked everything through a travel agency with my student card, which had solid insurance and a cancellation protection clause. When they ditched me for their last-minute cruise, I didn't cancel anything. I waited until the no-show fees kicked in. Then I disputed all the charges, providing receipts of their texts and proof they chose a different trip. Every flight, every hotel room, every cent I'd spent was refunded. The $12,000 never left my pocket in the end, and I funneled it into a savings account I named Family Vacation Fund. Petty? Maybe. But after years of sacrificing birthdays, holidays, and my mental health to earn this degree, I wasn't going to let them mock me and get a free ride too. Here's what really got under their skin. Those VIP seats weren't just tickets. They came with personalized badges with their names and free access to the exclusive graduation dinner hosted by the medical school. When my family didn't show, my program coordinator reassigned the spots. The seats and dinner went to a classmate whose parents couldn't afford to attend. So when my aunt called later, her voice dripping with fake sweetness, saying, "We didn't think you'd care. It was just a ceremony. Family celebrations are bigger than that," I told her, who sat in her seat. A single mom who worked 3 jobs to watch her daughter walk the stage. She went quiet, then hung up. I thought that would be the end of it, but then my cousin messaged me out of the blue. Apparently, my aunt had gone off in the family group chat, calling me ungrateful, spiteful, and accusing me of using my degree as a weapon. My cousin sent screenshots of my mom crying in texts, my dad saying I'd tarnished the family name, and my siblings calling me selfish for not understanding that the cruise was important. Selfish. That word stung. I've been anything but selfish. I was the one sending money for groceries when my parents were short. I helped my brother with rent when he was jobless. I tutored my sister when she was on the verge of flunking high school. But now, because I held up a mirror to show them how much they hurt me, I was the bad guy. That's when I made my decision. If they wanted to see what selfish really looked like, I'd show them. After the group chat meltdown, I sat down and did something I should have done years ago. I opened a folder on my laptop labeled Proof. Every bank transfer, every Zelle, every Venmo note, every thanks followed by, "Can you send more?" It was all there. When I added it up, my stomach churned. Over the past 8 years, I'd given my family just under $47,000. Money for rent, groceries, emergencies that always seemed to coincide with vacations, parties, or new cars. And the kicker, I wasn't swimming in cash. That $47,000 came from side gigs, tutoring MCAT students, working as a medical scribe on weekends, picking up lab assistant shifts. I lived off scholarships and loans, scrimped wherever I could, and still sent money home. I thought I was being a good daughter. Now, staring at the spreadsheet, I saw I'd been used. And yet, when it came to the biggest day of my life, I wasn't worth a flight they didn't even have to pay for. So I compiled everything into a single PDF, titled "For the Family That Calls Me Selfish." It listed every dollar, every date, no commentary, no insults, just the facts. I attached it to an email and wrote, "This is the last thing you'll ever get from me. Consider it my graduation gift to myself. Don't contact me for help again." Then I hit send. Within an hour, my sister was blowing up my phone, calling me heartless. My brother sent a string of laughing emojis followed by, "You think you're above us because you've got a degree?" My mom called 8 times, alternating between pleading and shouting in her voicemails. But my dad's message hit the hardest. His voice was calm but sharp. "You've forgotten your roots. All that education made you cold. Don't call us family if you can't forgive one mistake." One mistake, that's how they saw it. Not a pattern of taking without giving. Just one little cruise slip-up. For a moment, I almost wavered. That old urge to apologize, to smooth things over, to bury my feelings and be the bigger person nearly won. But then I walked into my living room. My diploma was still framed, sitting next to the photos of those empty VIP seats. And it clicked. I didn't survive med school to keep being their doormat. I didn't fight for this degree to stay small for their sake. I'd already sent them proof of my success, shown them the cost of my support, and drawn my line. The next step wasn't about proving anything to them. It was about choosing myself. So I blocked them. Every phone number, every social media account, every email. I knew they wouldn't let go easily. Families like mine never do. And I was right. The next morning, I woke up to something that made my blood run cold. Over a dozen emails had landed in my school inbox. Not my personal one, but the one tied to the hospital system I'd matched into for residency. At first, I thought I'd messed up my paperwork. But when I opened the first email, my heart sank. It was from my aunt, a long, rambling letter to my residency director claiming I was unstable, dishonest about my qualifications, and unprofessional. She CC'd my parents, siblings, and even distant relatives. The subject line, "Urgent concerns about your new resident." I sat there, horrified but not shocked. This was their move. When they couldn't guilt me back, they tried to sabotage everything I'd built. Thankfully, my program director isn't a fool. I forwarded him the proof. The cruise texts, the PDF of money I'd sent, the graduation photos. He called me, said not to worry, and added, "Families can be complicated. Yours won't ruin your career." His reassurance nearly brought me to tears. But I wasn't done. I knew what they wanted: control, access, a way to scare me into coming back. So I took my final step. I went to the bank, closed the joint account I'd foolishly opened years ago to help with family bills, and pulled every statement from my records. I changed every password, updated my emergency contacts at work to friends instead of family, and had a lawyer send a cease and desist letter after showing him the harassing emails. It cost me, but the peace of mind was worth it. For the first time in years, my phone was quiet. No desperate "can you send grocery money?" texts, no guilt-tripping voicemails. No snarky social media posts about how I owe them for raising me. Just silence. A week later, I walked into the hospital for my first day as doctor. Last name. White coat on, badge clipped, heart pounding. I caught my reflection in a hallway mirror and for a moment saw the girl who used to beg her parents to come to school plays, birthdays, graduations. The girl who thought if she just achieved enough, they'd show up. But she's gone now. Because when I stepped onto the ward, I realized something. I don't need a crowd of people who only cheer when it serves them. I need people who show up even when it's inconvenient. And those people, they're my colleagues, my friends, the family I've chosen. My biological family might still be out there on their cruise, laughing about how dramatic I am. But I don't care anymore. They missed the biggest day of my life. They'll miss every other milestone, too. And that's their loss, not mine. I didn't just graduate from medical school. I graduated from them.